Recognizing Opportunity, Video 3. Our topic now is going to take a look at the value of prior work experience and this concept of enthusiastic and somewhat inexperienced behavior. So what's the value of having prior work experience? What happens when you have a job? Well, frequently you encounter some issue, a little problem that may have developed. And then you would typically try to find a way to work around it or solve the problem. And as you look at this, you are hopefully trying to make it better, therefore providing an improvement. So the fair question is, how does work experience help us as entrepreneurs? I think it puts us in a position of being mindful of the situation we're in, constantly looking for opportunities to do things better. Do it faster, do it cheaper. Keith Kokel was an interesting character because as we listen to his story from when he was a young guy working in an auto parts store, selling parts to people, and then when people would come in and say, gosh, I wish I knew somebody that could install this for me, to which he could then respond, well, here, let me help you out with that. He had a built-in market, so to speak, people coming in with a problem. And as he started to look at that process, sure, he could crawl under a car, put in a starter, or do some kind of mechanical repair. The thing is, as he would listen, well, why do you want that? And he found another marketplace, not just someone wanting to have a part put on, but just to basically get a car running so that it could be sold. That then led to another aspect of his selling capability, not just repair, but repairing and selling. And then he transitions listening to people and seeing that, gee, for the same amount of work or effort, he could then go ahead and make more money by selling a higher price car because the margin was much better for him. And then as we go on a little later on in his story and he talks about the problem he sees as far as getting quality service from the micro technologies doing that lab result, saying, there should probably be a better way of getting this done. And I wonder if I could do it. He basically looked and he saw those opportunities, and having experience in a particular area could then make a decision about maybe taking on that responsibility and doing it himself. As we said before, an entrepreneur's mission is to solve other people's problems. When we listen to those people and the problems that they have, we ask ourselves, can we in fact step in and help them and also help ourselves in a business proposition? Frequently, people enter into a business without really understanding how it really works. Sometimes people say, oh, I need to have more training. I don't understand how this all works. Maybe I need to have a lot more money than what you may really need. Frankly, it sounds a lot like excuses. People just trying to find a way to procrastinate and not take an affirmative step forward. The reality is, many entrepreneurs enter into a particular venture and they are inexperienced. It doesn't mean they don't know anything, because hopefully if they had the prior work experience, they are getting some information and experience in how they might be able to do this new business proposition. They don't have all the answers. They learn as they go. Now there's a few good questions here that you might want to start to consider. And here I've identified a few for you. First, about inexperience. Could it be an advantage? And I would contend that it can be, because we don't walk into a business idea with any prejudice. We are simply looking at something for what it is. That prior history, that you might consider, oh, I was burned doing that before, I'll never do it again. That experience could keep you from moving forward. But who's to say that what is going to happen now would give you the same result as what you had in the past? Carrie Mobius said, how can you start with less than nothing? Now, he was in a very tough situation financially. The what, then how? Frequently, many salespeople will get into this kind of situation promising something they don't really have in their back pocket, and then going back to their organization and saying, well, how are we going to make this happen? And with Dawn Halfacre saying, focus on what she knew and could improve. As a military veteran wounded over in Iraq, coming back, trying to figure out what she could do, she wasn't about to go ahead and try to reinvent something that she didn't know anything about. She had clear understanding about the problems that were going on in the government and what she might be able to do to try to make it better. She was able to cut her own way into the organization. With entrepreneurs, basically they're solving problems. Those problems that they're solving are in fact opportunities. They have to deal with the uncertainty that lies ahead, and they have to be willing to change. By that being adapting and agile, they are not locked in. Finally, it's about persuasion. Why would someone want to do business with you? And what do you offer someone else that they would be willing to pay you for? Anatole France said, I prefer the errors of enthusiasm to the indifference of wisdom. I'd like this to be the idea for our discussion coming up.